Well, obviously, we just returned from Port Elizabeth, so yeah, we're looking forward to the game. It's right on top of us, so not really much time to affect the team too much. But yeah, we'll do a bit of a light session tomorrow and then play Saturday. So we're looking forward to the game.
All right, colleagues, I'll take questions from the floor, starting with Karabo.
Thank you, Fatu. Good morning, Coach. I hope you had a safe trip back to Johannesburg. Coach, your first derby, obviously you've been involved in prior derbies against the Mamelodi Sundowns with SuperSport United, but this one is the first for you as the coach of Kaizer Chiefs. Any butterflies, in your stomach? I mean, it's been a long time coming, but just your thoughts of you having your first derby as the coach of Kaizer Chiefs.
No, just more looking forward to the game. And trying and get the team right, keep working on the team, trying to get us to play what I'm trying to do, trying to instill. But no, I'm looking, as I said, used to this type of game, but obviously not as a derby. So it's not, if you look at it with no supporters, makes a huge difference. So we'll just try to continue on our path forward and try and improve the team and try and improve results. That's all.
Mazola.
Morning, Gavin. Just on
Chelsea. You were poor last night, Chelsea. Yeah.
We won 4-0. I don't know what's.
Doesn't matter. You played against a blind school. Yeah.
Just your assessment of that Pirates team. Do you also feel like you might have a bit of an advantage given they've been calling them vets light as well because they've got so many of the players that you've worked with. And just do you look at that team sheet and you think it's quite a, for lack of a better word, maybe a super team in terms of the players that they've put together there?
My opinion, I think they've got to be big favourites for the league title this year. I think they've really boosted their squad. They've got a lot of players who obviously I know and worked with. So they've got a very, very good squad of players. What they do and how they do it is not for me to say. I really just try and concentrate on what we must do. But really, they've got a good squad of players, and they're certainly much, much stronger than they were last season. So, I know what's ahead of us, so we look forward to the game.
Charles Baloy.
Good morning, Coach. Charles Baloy from the Soweto. Thank you, Coach, for being here. Coach, let's talk about your battles against Pirates when you're coaching vets. You were involved in high-scoring games and you've knocked them out of cup competitions a couple of times. And also, Coach, I want to talk about the importance of getting the away goals. This is a two-leg matches. How does it play out? Do you set your team to try and get the away goal and have an advantage going into the second leg as well? Thank you.
Yeah, look, the home and away does make a big difference. So obviously, we're not going. I'm not going to try and set us up any different. I'll try and get us to try and play normal. It's not like you're playing in a foreign country or something like that. We know the conditions, So yeah, we'll try and set it up and try and obviously score. I think it does. We all know it does count. So yeah, I don't see my thinking or thought process. The second leg when things come a little bit more into play, but certainly the first leg away from home, not for us, no.
Velile.
Morning, Coach. Looking at the past matches, in the last game you produced a clean sheet. Also, you created a number of chances, which is something that should be encouraging going to this game against Pirates. Do you then emphasize on the taking of chances, especially in this game coming? And also maybe if you can just, because you've won this trophy with Bidvest before, what make it easier? I know it's still at the beginning of the season. What makes it easier? 5 matches, you are the champion. In fact, 4 matches, you are the champion.
Yeah, I mean, the MTN Cup it's a great. I mean, It's been around for a long, long time. Obviously, other sponsors were involved, but it's a great opportunity to get yourself in a cup final so early in the season, which I always think helps momentum going forward. The good thing is we got 2 games in the semi-final, which gives you certain perspective because of the home and away situation. But no, I mean, for us, for me, being new at the club is just trying to find out about the players a little bit more every day, every game, and try and get us in a way of playing which suits the players that we've got. That's the most important thing. You know, can't come in here and just bash the door down. We got to try and find a way that suits what we've got, and try and take it one step forward at a time. On chances missed, you're going to hear any coach anywhere in the world after a game, but what's gone is gone. You know, we've got to try and concentrate on the next game. You can't affect what happened on Tuesday night.
Nati?
Yes, Coach is Nati from NGFM in Polokwane. Obviously, you were not happy with the performances of the previous matches before Chippa United won. Do you then change a bit, or you build on the performance that was displayed against the Chippa United?
I think it was well documented. As I said on Tuesday, I thought, you know, for parts of the game, most of the game, I thought we looked like a good football team. You know, a team that I'd like to set them up and play. Obviously, we need to be a little bit versatile in certain things, but we look proper. Our distances were right. Everything was better. But obviously, you got to take into consideration opposition. Opposition are totally different on Saturday. And as I've said before, you know, we played 2 games, and I don't want to make excuses. We played 2 games in a 35-degree heat. It's going to be the same on Saturday. It's a totally different type of game. You know, like Tuesday, you know, it's much cooler, much easier. So the 2 games we played already here at home, I mean, it was boiling with heat. It's going to be the same on Saturday. So hopefully it's not too much of a walking pace game.
Morgan?
Morning, Gavin. Morgan here from AFM Sport. Are you well?
Yes, all right, Morgan.
Good. Gavin, you mentioned now momentum early in the season, but surely confidence, doing well in a cup competition so early in the season, will help a team that should have won the league last season. So this is a proper opportunity for Silverware to build that going forward.
I think in football, supporters, media, staff have got longer memories than players. Players don't remember. I'm telling you, players forget very quickly. So talking about confidence, I understand where you're coming from, but I mean, players forget things very, very quickly. It's the people around the game that remember situations more. You only remember things when you get a little bit older. There's been no sort of meltdown I've seen from the players. You know, maybe, you know, lack of this or that, whatever, but I've seen nothing in that. So these competitions, as you rightly say, you know, if you can get yourself certainly through the semi-final, which is always the hardest part in any cup competition, semi-final. I always feel the finals are much easier, but semi-finals are very, very difficult, and especially playing against an arch rival like Pirates, you know, or anybody for that matter. So it's right on top of us. Yeah, let's try and. I don't think it's going to knock your confidence. I think you need to work on certain things in the game which can help your confidence. So it's a long process, but I understand what I'm saying. Sorry if you don't understand, but yeah, it is what it is.
Let's go to front runner.
Coach Gavin Spewer from Front Runner. There was so much expectation when Lazarus Kambola came from Zesco. How far is he from becoming the player that you want him to be? Basically, what's missing from his game, do you think, in order to get regular game time on your side? Thank you.
I didn't know Leslie until I saw him 3 weeks ago. I didn't really know anything about him. I think, you know, the football here is a totally different speed of the game. So the speed for me is something that not many people, even coming from Europe, top players struggle in South Africa because, you know, in South Africa, you know, the players run faster than the ball, where in Europe, the ball moves faster than the players. So the game is 100 miles an hour here. And people take time to adjust. And I think I'll gradually work with him and try and, get him to understand a little bit. But he was here a lot of the last season, but I didn't really see much of him, so I don't really know him that much. So I'll try and work with him and try and, get him to the levels where things are done much quicker here.
I'll go to Mark Stradom.
Morning, Coach. Mark Stradom, Marina Holdings. Coach, just it has to be asked. Obviously,
Hello?
Mark,
Hello?
we lost you there. Can you just repeat?
Airtime, Mark. Pay you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, Coach. It has to be asked. I mean, of course, everyone knows the team's been 5 seasons without a trophy. The previous coaches, that was the difficulty they faced, was they got to cup finals but couldn't win. It's so early. I know that, no pressure, but to get a trophy would just take so much pressure off you. If you can just, thanks.
Mark, it's a very quite unique question. There's pressure every game. It doesn't matter where you coach. That's how I see it. I don't see it. Yes, obviously the magnitude of the club is huge, and they expect to win trophies on a regular basis. But we've also got to look at a lot of things. Why we haven't won in 5-6 years, or I don't know how long they won here. I mean, we've got to look. So there's a lot of things. So let me just get through Saturday. Let me get through a few games, and let's see. I already know what we need and what we don't need, and so, but that can only come out on the training ground, working on the players, and obviously trying to improve the squad that we've got, and try and take it from there. So yeah, obviously, any in their right mind wouldn't want to get to and try and win to try and get to a final and try and take it one step further. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer.
Okay, I'm taking the last round of questions. I'll start with Chad Kelly Clate. Sorry.
Thank you, Fatu. Coach, obviously the dynamics change a bit with this Soweto Derby being behind closed doors. Does it take anything away for you in terms of the experience of a Soweto Derby, where you would have liked to have a packed stadium, FNB stadium, and get the full experience? And then secondly, Pirates have I think it was 6 or 7 of your former players in their squad. Does it make it a bit easier planning for them? Knowing what they have to offer in those players that they have in their squad.
Chad, obviously, I mean, you want full stadiums. I like that. I like that, and the players certainly feel it. There's no doubt about it. Maybe that had a lot to do with them in the league last year at the end. But I certainly feel that it can get you across the line sometimes, especially if you've got them more on your side than against you. I'm more used to them having against me, so I'm used to that. But yeah, I would love to have had that experience, but hopefully it'll come one day. On the players, I don't think it makes any difference. Yes, sure, I know all of them. I signed all of them. So I know them very, very well. But I don't think it makes any difference. It's like, doing video analysis of opposition. I think it's the most overrated thing in the world. Because you can talk all day. The player's got to do it on the day. You can 1 or 2 things here and there and show, but, less sometimes the player's got to take the responsibility. So, yeah. But sure, there's 7 of them there at the moment. I think 6 or 7 of them are playing. So, yeah. I know the ins and outs, where they live. I know everything, sure.
Coach, just a question about player availability this weekend. Do you have anyone out?
No, we pretty much got a full bill of health. Well, they just started training today. A couple of them come back. But, I mean, there's no ways they can play Saturday due to their levels of, match intensity. There's no ways. But they started, actually 2-3 of them started training today. So let's see. We're going to need them in the weeks to come, that's for sure.
Okay, moving on, maybe let's go to Karabo.
Thank you, Fatu. Coach, I think for a couple of youngsters out in your team, and Jabulu Plom as well as Nob, I think they'll be making their debuts, quite young players. Is there anything special that you say to them? You put an arm around the shoulder, make them feel giant, or you leave that to the senior players?
No, don't say a word to the players. Don't need to say anything to them. I think that's overrated. They're there because they're good enough. Concentrate on what you have to do, what you don't have to do. Forget about everything else. When they need a little bit of guidance, sure. If I see, they're not doing the right things, but sometimes you got to discover these things yourself a little bit as a player. Too much instructions is too much sometimes. Sometimes they're there because they've got the ability. Put them in the structure. They understand the structure. They've got one or two things to concentrate on, and let them concentrate on that. And then we'll try and take them to the next level. But to throw too much at them too early is, in terms of information and stuff, is sometimes very not the best thing. So let them discover a little bit, and then we can work from there.
Velile, quickly.
Coach, one player you also had this week at centre back was Ngezana. I think this is his third season now, and he's not staked his claim in terms of maybe being consistent in the starting lineup. What do you find in the boy, having worked with him for the past few weeks, and maybe where you think he can improve?
I've been quite surprised with him. I like. To be careful what I say here. I like wild horses. Don't give me dead horses. I like wild horses, and I like him because he's willing to learn. And rather let's tame him a little bit, bring him back to where he's a very enthusiastic boy. Yes, I don't know what's happened before with him. I can only see what's in front of me, but I need to get him to understand certain things. I think he's better in. I would think he'd be right now. He's better in some sort of games and other sort of games because of what's he going to play against. But right now, he's got the platform. As I said, explain one or two things. Hopefully, he puts it into practice, and every day we can just get a little, take a step further. Because, as I've always said, centre backs generally in the world, the best ones are all over 30. So centre backs take longer to mature. It's like goalkeepers, I always think. They take longer to mature. And in his position, maturity sometimes, takes a little bit of time. But he's got all the makings. Athletic, he's strong. And maybe he needs a bit of a run. I don't know. Maybe he needs a run, but let's see. Consistency is the most important thing at centre back. It's not about, the flashy stuff. It's the most consistent thing. Which sometimes generally players don't like to do, and I think he likes to do that part of the game, which is important. You need in every football team, the best teams in the world need these type of players. So let's see, maybe get another chance and take it from there.
Okay, Zakele, you'll have the last question since you haven't asked. Zakele. Zakele, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Coach. Zakele from Isola is a newspaper in Durban. Coach. Wherever you've been, it's SuperSport, Vets, all your centre backs normally go all the way and be regulars in the Bafana team. Who do you see in the Kaizer Chiefs team doing that? And the second one, I'm not sure whether it's been asked. What's going to happen with the players that have been training with the team? The likes of Lanti, Nange, since you know what happens with the case.
Right now, I'm going to have a meeting now with the chairman as we finish here about those players. We're going to see what's going to happen. Possibly have to loan them out to get to some play. You can't leave a player not playing for so long. But I mean, that's one of the options. I'm not sure what he thinks, but we'll discuss that. I've always said to win anything, anywhere in the world, you've got to have good centre backs. Forget about strikers and everything else. You've got to have good centre backs. And if centre backs can, help you in defending in situations and scoring goals in situations, I think there's no two ways about it. Everybody looks for different types of centre backs. I know what I want, what I look for, but yeah. Centre backs have got to be scoring goals, that's for sure, and defending your box, that's for sure. So, you know, let's. I've only been here a short while, so let me just work with them a little bit more and see what happens. You know, but they've just started training today. Tower, Zuma, and Maleko, he trained maybe, yeah. So, you know, we might have to use them on the bench because we're all a little bit short. But yeah, they just started training.